Thanks to what's your name. Upstairs at the movies.
He's got one foot in the frying pan and one in the pressure cooker. Believe me, as a bowler, I know that right about now, your bladder feels like an overstuffed vacuum cleaner bag, and your butt is kind of like an about to explode bratwurst.
Hey, do you mind? I wasn't talking when you were bowling.
Was I talking out loud?
Welcome to Munsons at the Movies. My name is Kyle. I will once again be your host. I'm joined by the rest of the Munsons. Want to give them a wide berth.
He's what is called a born loser. A real Munson.
And talk a little bit about what's going on in their worlds. This time we'll start with Aubrey.
We're fully in the swing of the school year. Disney's Food and Wine Festival is amazing. I went to Halloween Horror Nights. It's pretty dope also. There's all kinds of things to talk about. But yet again, my film studies class has stolen all of my updates because I don't know what to do with these kids. I really don't. We're starting a new group, and what I've heard so far is Jurassic Park, the CGI is bad. It doesn't hold up, and Jurassic World is better. I've also heard that Back to the Future was predictable. Boring.
Wait, which part was predictable?
Apparently the entire thing. This girl went on a rant about the whole movie was predictable.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
His mom wanting to fuck him was predictable?
I guess.
I need her to expand on that.
Is Back to the Future problematic?
Probably.
Because that was the big talking point, was I couldn't get into this movie because it was so weird. These kids are back at it, man. They're murdering classics. And I don't know what to do.
I mean, you could fail everybody, right? I think we could still do that.
The Jurassic Park thing's just objectively incorrect.
Mm-hmm. Aubrey, what's next?
We watch one movie from before 2010 and then one movie after 2010. That's my, one for you, one for me.
Okay.
The last one was Back to the Future, and then we switched the tone up a little bit, and they're watching 2020's The Invisible Man.
Oh, I love that movie.
They're supposed to identify the thematic elements in that. They're having a really hard time explaining how movies are making them feel.
Good luck.
It's a dogfight over here, though.
Next, we'll go to James.
Things are good over here. By the time this podcast comes out, I'll assume that Aaron Boone's name on the Epstein files has been released, and he's been arrested and is no longer the manager of the New York Yankees. And we've made a wild card run. I'm really looking forward to that. But other than that, things are normal over here, man.
Wasn't he a hero for a while?
That is the whole reason he is still the manager of the Yankees. Should have been fired 5 years ago. If he didn't hit that home run, the Yankees would have won a World Series by now. I'm convinced.
All right, Case, what strategy are you cooking up over there?
Summer's officially over, but I had a very enjoyable summer. So enjoyable that when I go to AMC movies now, I lip sync the Nicole Kidman speech. By the end of it, everybody's looking at me. And I think the next time I go, I'm just going to go ahead and say it with her. Because I've got the AMC Movie Pass, and they upped it to 4 movies a week, which I don't even come close to. I think I watched at least 35 movies this summer.
You're striving for the old Movie Pass days. I'm proud of you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, somehow heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
She says that, and they cut right to her watching Jurassic World.
Yep. Don't tell your students that. They won't like Nicole Kidman either. It was awesome. Good summer.
I don't know if you guys have ever been to an MJR theater. They were big in Michigan growing up. The jingle, I still know to this day. I could sing it to start to finish. Come and have a party at Hollywood. It's more fun at MJR. More than just a movie, it's a big night out. And they would always change the movies that show up on the screen anyways. So speaking of Nicole Kidman with an Irish accent from far and away, I have survived my trip to Ireland and Portugal over the last 10 days. I got back late last night.
Yeah, buddy.
We talked originally when the bird lady, Brenda Fricker, was on the list. She lives in Ireland, right? I got to find the bird lady. I saw lots of birds. I did not see Brenda Fricker, unfortunately. But pigeons were literally everywhere. So next step would be, Kyle, you're in Ireland. You can't find the bird lady. Who should you find? Who's another Munson who's Irish that we've covered recently? Who lives in Ireland? Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
I kept an eye peeled for Daniel Day-Lewis. Shockingly, he lives like 45 minutes to an hour south of Dublin. He's in a small little town. We didn't go there, so I didn't see Daniel Day-Lewis. But you guys do know who I saw, and that was a jogging down the street, talking on her phone, Thomas McKenzie. And I am still sad that I did not do what Case told me to do and stop her and harass her in that moment.
You didn't shoot your shot. What's the point?
I was with my girlfriend.
Yeah, they're perfect. You should have stopped her and you should have been like, okay, fine, let's take a picture. Yes. I saw you over there wanting to take a picture with me.
I'm shocked you didn't do what I suggested, which was Ace Ventura style, run her down. And what does he use to not chloroform her ass? And
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have did what James did when he saw Natalie Portman and just follow her behind her with his mouth open
That's
for
true.
several blocks.
Yeah.
Start looking at magazines and shit. Ah, fuck. She's looking at me.
I still think about how, based on what I did, how must it much suck to be that famous, because I am not a stalker, and I was zoned in for like a good 2 blocks.
That's one of my favorite stories that I've ever heard on this podcast. Kyle didn't do any of that.
She runs up. It's one of those moments where you're like, she looks familiar. Wait, is that who I think it is? And by the time she gets close, she's clearly on the phone talking to somebody. And I look at Christine, I was like, I'm pretty fucking sure that was Thomas and McKenzie. So I go on her Instagram like any good stalker would do.
Yes.
And I'm like, she's got really short hair. I was like, that's a telltale sign. So let's go to her Instagram and see how long her hair is. And by golly, she's got the shortest hair possible for some roles she's been playing. And it shows she's in Dublin. Like, her posts have been in, and I was like, all right, so I got my celebrity encounter for Ireland. One of the 3 big actors in Ireland. I saw her.
Sounds like a lovely trip.
But we are excited to bring back Dan Craig. He is a high school English and film teacher who has the dubious distinction of knowing Craig Case for the past 20 plus years. That's probably 25 plus years now, because it was 20 plus years when he first showed up on this show. He was previously with us for the Chris O'Dowd, Tim Roth, Willem Dafoe, David Spade, Maggie Smith, William Atherton, and Goldie Hawn episodes. Today becomes technically the first 8-time guest Munson. Welcome back, Dan.
Thank you. Great to be back.
That's awesome. Good to have you.
Since we're sharing celebrity encounters, can I share the most important one to me?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so you fellas all will be aware of Luis Guzman and his career.
Yeah.
Former Munson, we've covered him.
Correct. My wife and I are in Burlington, Vermont, and I see him walk by. What is Luis Guzman doing in Burlington, Vermont? I go right to IMDb, like any good stalker would do, yeah, and I see in his trivia, has a home in Burlington, Vermont, with his 5 children.
Yep.
And sure enough, he was walking down the street with one of the 5. So the wife and I kind of stalk him for about, a couple hundred yards, walking through the town square. And she says, you are going to regret not going up to him. You should go up to him. And so we kind of get turned around, and before I know it, he's coming towards me, and we're right on a collision course with him. And I'm like, what am I going to say? And I think to his role in traffic, when he tells the joke in traffic. Excuse me, sir, could you tell me why hurricanes are named after women? And he looks at me. He gives a little smile. He looks at my wife, and he says, well, I would, but your wife is so lovely, I don't want to offend her.
Lovely.
What a rock star.
Yeah.
What an amazing guy. Shook his hand, just said, what a great guy. Thank you so much. We're big fans. He said, thank you very much. Walked away. Awesome. Life-changing story.
Super cool.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was great.
Now I'm mad on 2 fronts. 1, we should have had you also join for that episode. And 2, I want to change my Munson Meter score for him now.
You didn't ask him anything about confidence? That would have come in handy later.
It would have been, yeah.
We're excited to have you, man. Let's dig into a little Bob Forster.
Let's go.
All right, birthday, September 19th. Jeremy Irons, known for things like The Lion King, Margin Call, Red Sparrow, Aragon, Beautiful Creatures, Batman vs. Superman, Kingdom of Heaven, House of Gucci, The Man in the Iron Mask, The French Lieutenant's Woman, and Die Hard with a Vengeance. How old is Jeremy Irons in that golden voice?
He was great in Watchmen.
He was so good in that.
Absolutely nailed it.
Recently in the Beekeeper movie.
With Jason Statham?
Yeah, I'm trying to place that. I'm trying to date him on that one.
73.
I feel like he's 115 years old.
I'm going to cut Aubrey's in half. Give me 75.
I'll go 74.
With that setup, I played all you guys. 67.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
The $1 guess, huh? I respect it. It's wrong, but I respect it because he's turning 77. So whoever said 75 wins. Craig Case.
Wow.
So old.
He's good.
Next up, Sherry O'Terry, known for SNL, Scary Movie, Southland Tales, Liar Liar, Inspector Gadget, and a recent entertainment television resurgence. It's mostly SNL, I feel like, with Sherry O'Terry.
Genuinely shocked she wasn't a bigger star. I thought she was so fucking funny on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
55.
I had to look into all kinds of stuff to figure out who this person is.
If you're not a big SNL fan, you're,
Yeah, she was always with Will Ferrell in the skits.
Superstar.
The cheerleader.
Give me 50.
I'm at 55.
52.
I want to place it in the right spot. So 22.
Making me think he's going to go 57 or something. You should have, though, because you would have won, because she's turned 63. So I don't know who had the highest in the 50s.
Wow.
Good job, James. I'm proud of you.
I would like to commend us for all going under.
Wow.
Good, respectable men here.
All right, last and maybe certainly least, Jimmy Fallon, another SNL star, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, The Tonight Show, Fever Pitch, Whip It, and himself in a bunch of stuff. How old is Jimmy Fallon?
This one I'm going to go 50.
He's really good friends with Mitt Romney. That's about the end of my thoughts.
I wanted everyone to make fun of him for a little bit because my wife is a fan of Jimmy Fallon. And I make fun of her for it.
Okay, as long as you hold her accountable.
Oh, yeah, no. He's not good at his job. 53.
48.
I'll go 55.
Men at 50.
My man comes out of the bullpen because he's turned 51, so Craig Case takes it. 2 wins tonight.
Nice, dude.
Woo!
Proud of you.
Woo! Y'all were so distracted by your Jimmy Fallon hate that I just stayed focused. I stayed focused on the mission.
That's why you're such a good coach.
Uh-huh.
There's going to be a lot of coaching conversations the rest of this podcast episode, so I'm excited. We got a lot of coaches on here. Happy birthday to all 3 of those and anybody else with a birthday on September 19th. We're at episode 125. We had 5 actors we threw onto the wheel. That included Don Lake, Bob Downey Jr., Michael Stolbarg, and the bird lady Brenda Fricker. The wheel did not select Brenda Fricker or any of those others. The wheel selected Robert Forster. Forster's got 190 credits, 3 producing credits, 1 directing credit, almost 200 credits in his career, in a very interesting up and down career, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the highs, the lows. We're not going to talk about all 190, but we'll talk about the ones we found interesting, the ones we hated, the ones we loved, and everything in between pertaining to his personal and professional life. But before we do that, we always start with a little actor trivia, see if James can stump us Fast and Furious style.
So, Dan, you're part of the initiated. You know the rules. But for new listeners at home, I'm going to read off 3 facts here, 2 of which are going to be true about Robert Forster, 1 of which is not going to be true about him, but is going to be true about one of the many illustrious cast members of the Fast and Furious franchise. For Aubrey students at home who are listening, that is that franchise that redefined cinema in America. And the gentlemen here are going to have to guess which one that is. Fact number 1. He was frequently sick with jaundice throughout his childhood, and the antibiotics he was administered made his upper teeth rot to the point where they had to be surgically removed. His permanent teeth did not begin to grow in until he was 10 years old. Fact number 2. He decided to pursue acting in his senior year of college when he tried to impress a young woman working in the crew of a local play by auditioning for the lead. Although he didn't land the lead role that he auditioned for, he was cast in the chorus, which he only stuck with as a way to spend time with this woman. Fact number 3. His father was a Ringling Brothers elephant trainer.
I think I'm on to James.
Oh, boy.
He is going to put this as far away from where this actor would actually be. So, being as I box myself in, I have to choose the rapper that's furthest away from Robert Forster. I'm saying fact number 3, and Iggy Azalea.
Fact 3, he was cheated on by Nick Young and later outed by D'Angelo Russell.
Forster's got some game. He might have been able to pull that off.
Major troll job.
Hey, wait till my review about Reflections of a Golden Eye. You'll understand. James, I think fact 3 is correct because in Jackie Brown, there's a Ringling Brothers picture in the background of his office. So I think that's a nod to his family. And so I'm going to say that the lie is number 2, and that is about Jason Momoa.
Wow.
Is that true, Case? You really pulled that out?
Yeah.
The Ringling Brothers poster in the background? That's amazing.
It was the last movie I watched.
Wow.
Same. I had no idea that happened, so Case is better at this than I am. And that's 1,000% something Tarantino would do.
Yeah.
I will say number one is the lie, and that it applies to Jason Statham because he's British, and they typically have poor oral hygiene.
A good guess.
That is honestly fair reasoning. That's you guys should be detectives.
I think, Aubrey, you might be a little disappointed in me. I so wanted to make a Bow Wow reference in one of these three because of his connection with him and Like Mike. But I can't because I think for the first time in Munson's history, James is recycling a fact. And I believe fact one is a Charlize Theron fact that he has brought back from 100 episodes ago. And I'm very interested to hear why.
Okay.
Incredible guesses all around. I will start with fact number 3 because Keisha nailed it. His father was a Ringling Brother elephant trainer, and his father eventually went on to become an executive at a baking supply company. But as a tribute to his father, Forster hung up one of his posters in the back of his office of Jackie Brown, and Quentin Tarantino was totally cool with it.
I love that.
Yeah, he also hung up his dad's elephant hook. It's right next to the poster. Incredible eyes. You got to look into being a detective. Fact number 2, he decided to pursue acting his senior year when he tried to impress a young woman working in the crew of a local play by auditioning for the lead. And he only stuck with it so he could hit on this girl. That's also true. According to him, he's like, I wanted to be a lawyer. And my first day of classes, my senior year, quote, it felt like I was struck by lightning as I was parking my car. He describes verbatim what the girl is wearing. He goes, I'm trying to muster up the confidence to speak with her. And she tells me she's going to this play. And I walk in there and it's Bye Bye Birdie auditions. He's like, and so I auditioned for like the fake Elvis role. I don't get it. It's like they give me a part in the chorus. And I thought, I mean, I like acting, but I don't want to just fucking sing, do nothing all day. He's like, but then I figured, actually, that's how I'll get this girl to talk to me. That girl went on to be his wife, June, and they had 3 daughters together. He describes her outfit way more in detail. I left that part out because, that maybe some of those memories he should keep to himself. But it was clear. It's like, damn, she's hot. What is she doing? Ended up being his wife, and they had 3 kids together. Fact number 1, he had jaundice throughout his childhood. Antibiotics were administered, made his teeth fall out, had to be surgically removed, didn't grow teeth until he was 10 years old. Kyle, incredible memory. That is a Charlize Theron fact.
Yep.
She didn't grow permanent teeth until she was 10. At 13, things were going so poor for her in school. She went to a boarding school because she was getting bullied. By 16, she had already secured a modeling contract at a local competition because duh. And then at 18, she and her mom moved to the U.S., where some people may say her most famous role is her portrayal of Cypher in the Fate of the Furious F9 and Fast X. Yes, that is correct.
Nice. Well done, sir.
Yeah, that one's hard to forget.
Could you imagine being Charlize's bullies? How do those people feel now?
We heard that with Renee Russo, too. That fact always stuck with me. She had to have the back brace until she was 18 and then was discovered at 18 walking out of a concert, taking off the back brace like Forrest Gump losing his leg braces. It was just like, oh, wow, she's hot. Yeah, duh.
Good job, James. All right, Case, what do we got for a box office snapshot for a guy who is in many, many low-budget films?
I ended up finding data and information on 102 movies, and only 30 of them had full information.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, between the early part of his career and when he started, and just the amount of low-budget and obscure movies he did in the middle of his career up until Jackie Brown, it's tough to find, really good data to look at his career. In average budget, he's ranked 121st at $18.8 million. In total box office rank, he's ranked 101 with a $1.5 billion world gross. Star meter at time of recording, he's 109th with a star meter ranking of 3,250. Critic rank, he comes in at 101 with a 49.7 critic rank. With a 46.6% fan ranking, he comes in at 124.
Ooh.
And he's 121 and 114 on 2 different box office metrics, which ranks him not dead last. It ranks him 123, second from the last, which is a Far cry from our last episode where Harrison Ford pulled in at number 1. The only actor that ranks behind him, Kyle, you'll be sad to know this, is Chicago's own James Belushi.
I won't. Laura Beneke might be, but
Our bottom 5 people, Seymour Cassell, Stephen Tobolowsky, Chaz Palminteri, Robert Forster, and Jim Belushi.
Ow.
All beaten out by David Spade.
And William Atherton.
Yeah, Robert Forster's numbers aren't necessarily complimentary, but his career is interesting to me because I did spend most of my time watching early projects and early work. And I don't know what happened to him in the middle of his career and why he just stopped getting roles. I saw one comment, and I'll talk about it in the movie we get, that he felt like he got typecasted after he was in a certain movie. But if you watch the early part of his career arc is very strange, almost unlike anything we've ever watched.
It's a tricky spot actors like him have to kind of navigate.
Yep.
Because he's got to work, but the work that you got to take is going to make it hard for you to kind of break out of the box.
I don't want to take away from our future conversation, but you'll see a lot of his just family decisions drove a lot of what he chose and what he took.
For sure.
So as he talked about, I got 2 ex-wives and 4 kids. I had to pay the bills. So like you just take what you can get.
He was young when he had 4 kids. Like people start families now later in life. And yeah, we decided to have 4 kids. He was out of college and these kids were here.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because I think his early work is strong. Not interesting numbers, but interesting career.
Yep. Okay, thanks, guys. All right, first major role is going to be 1967, so everything before 67. He's born in Rochester, New York, 1941. Another actor who was alive when Hitler was doing some crazy shit, so that's always interesting to cover.
Some crazy shit is an interesting way to sum that up.
If you're curious, go back to our Harrison Ford episode if you're listening, and we're very anti-Nazi podcast. We reinforce that several times. Gives you everything you need to know.
That's true.
Got his bachelor's in psychology from the University of Rochester, so local boy, stayed in town to get his degree, performed some theater in college. That's where he got into acting. As he started to get into the acting world, he was Robert Foster, but there's already a Robert Foster, and you can find him on IMDb. He was in the Screen Actors Guild, and so at a certain point, he had to put an R in his last name to differentiate himself from Robert Foster. Things you have to do with your stage name early in your career.
Prior to going to University of Rochester, tried to play football. He got a football scholarship to a couple different schools. He went to Alfred University for a year before transferring, and I was like, oh, all right, we got a little bit of a baller. Okay.
Maybe helped some of his football coaching that we'll see in 1981's Heartbreak High. After pursuing acting because he wanted to hang out with a girl, he got into the world, and he talked about in interviews that he was naive to think like, anybody could do that. I could do it, right? And Case will talk about with his movie review. He got really lucky early on in his career. But before that, his first big acting gig was on Broadway in Mrs. Dally Had a Lover. At the time, he was a substitute teacher in Rochester and was essentially commuting between there and New York City. Had really no clue what he was doing other than like, I guess I'm going to do this acting thing. Did the Broadway play and did 3 other stage plays off Broadway in New York, just trying to figure out the acting scene.
He's like, yeah, I kind of, went to my dad for some advice. He's like, and, my parents had a pretty nasty divorce. So my dad and I, we didn't have a great relationship because I was raised by my mother. He's like, but I knew my dad spent time in the entertainment industry. And he's like, and I asked him for advice, and my dad just was like, yeah, you should totally do that. I could totally see you being an actor, and gave him no other context of what the life is like. He's like, so I was just like a dumb kid. I was like, cool, great, awesome, let's do this.
It's got to be easy.
Yeah, he's like, how fucking hard it was. He's like, there's 1,000 people who want to be actors.
The pool is so massive, and there's this many roles that everybody's competing for.
Yeah.
66, he marries June Forster. They were married for 9 years. They had 3 daughters together in that time, so his first marriage there lasted almost a decade.
Prior to meeting his wife, June, he had a child with a girl he was just casually seeing, and they were kind of figuring out, who's going to watch the kid, and his son stayed with him, but eventually the girl took him to the courts and got custody of the kid. And, he's got 4 children at this point, right? He also got drafted to the Vietnam War, and his mother was so scared about him going to the Vietnam War that she set herself on fire and killed herself.
What?
My God.
Yeah. And he got a deferment because of the mental toll it took on him.
Jesus.
And he eventually was exempt from service because of the, quote, devastating psychological effects that it had on him.
I would imagine.
Horrific.
Dude, when I read that, I was like, how does that not just redefine your entire life?
Yeah.
By the way, the worst thing you could possibly imagine happened to me in between that time. I would have taken every role. I would have never once been alone with my thoughts for 20 years. I would have anything. Yeah, it's just me doing work for the next 2 decades. No problem.
Oh, I got to transition away from that to talking about a role.
Yeah, dude, I was trying to squeeze that into trivia. I was like, there's no way to make that funny. It's the worst story I've ever heard.
124 episodes in, James. You figured out good timing for stories like that. We don't need to make a Bow Wow joke.
Yeah, that's not T-Pain.
He talked a lot about in his career, like luck. You can be great at what you do, but it does require a little luck. And there's no better example of that than him stumbling into his first role as Private Williams in Reflections in a Golden Eye alongside some pretty heavy hitter actors in 1967, and case has it.
Well, the best way to start this review off is to say that there's a lot going on with this movie. In front of the camera and behind the camera. Certainly an interesting movie, and it's the kind of story and movie that really piques my interest. And, Kyle, you talked about him getting lucky. The movie stars Marlon Brando and Elizabeth Taylor, and it was not supposed to star those two. I think one of the reasons that this film was so big is because these were megastars. When a movie comes out and you see Elizabeth Taylor is in it and Marlon Brando is in it, everybody goes to watch.
And it's John Huston, directed.
In the theatrical preview of this, it goes through the whole movie and it describes it. And at the end it says, this movie is intended for mature audiences. Leave the children at home. Like, that was the official trailer. And when I watched it, I got it. Reflections of a Golden Eye is a 1967 film directed by John Huston. It's an adaptation of Carson McCullers' novel. And the film is a very bizarre and hypnotic Southern melodrama that was largely misunderstood by audiences upon release for a couple of reasons, but has since picked up a lot of traction amongst critics and fans. While not a box office success, the film definitely had a powerful impact on Hollywood at the time and Hollywood since. Marlon Brando plays Major Weldon Penderton, a military officer on a base. I think he's probably the second highest ranking officer on this fort, I think is actually more accurate. And Elizabeth Taylor plays his wife, Leonora. The two of them have a wild, wild relationship. The film marked the screen debut of Robert Forster, a rare Munson situation. We have a title screen on the credits that says, and introducing Robert Forster. So I was excited that I was going to actually watch a movie where this person had more than a couple of lines. Truth be told, he still only had a couple of lines, but he had a major role in this movie. He plays Private L.G. Williams, a bizarre young soldier. As the movie goes on, we realize is the object of Marlon Brando's repressed desire. And he has voyeuristic desires towards Marlon Brando's wife. The whole thing is wild. The story's wild. But Forster's performance is noteworthy because he has a very quiet intensity. And Aubrey always talks about this efficiency and people getting a lot done by not saying a lot. In what was a bold move for the time in 1967, Forster's character is seen riding a horse naked. It's one of two complete nude scenes for him. He is such an attractive and handsome man that he releases repressed homosexual feelings that Marlon Brando's character has. It's wild to think that this is a film from 1967. I think he only had 3 or 4 lines during the movie, but yet prominently featured in this movie. And I would argue that this might be one of the most, if not the most intriguing major first roles we looked at. And I would put it right up there with Holly Hunter's performance in Raising Arizona in terms of impact on the story for a first-time feature role. Other actors that were really big in this, Brian Keith and Julie Harris, who was big at the time. And the movie is very interesting. It deals with a lot of taboo subjects. It was layered with controversy from the start. Because of the title and the effect he was trying to get, initial release of this movie was not in color, but it wasn't in black and white. It was in a gold tint, and audiences hated it. It got crushed in opening weekend so badly that the studio ate it and then re-released the full color versions. Hindsight, and one of the great things about having digital media now is you can watch both versions. And a lot of critics have actually come around on the original one. Another thing I thought was interesting in this movie is that this is one of the movies that's cited for crashing the Hays Code, which was the predecessor to the MPAA, the Motion Picture Association ratings, you know, the PG, PG-13, rated R, all those things. And John Huston was like, don't give a shit. We're not worried about these stupid suggestions. And after this and a couple other movies came out, in 1968, the Motion Picture Association of America rating system was put into place.
That's awesome. I like the motion rating picture fact. It had to have happened with something, right? It's cool to find out that it happened with one of his movies. Because, like, you don't even have to go back to, like, maybe early 90s, late 80s, where you see something that's PG and you watch it now, you're like, this is not PG. This is way more aggressive than a PG movie.
Okay, this was my last Forster watch.
Ended at the beginning.
Yeah, well, I should have, because I was wiped post a 10-day trip to Europe. And I don't think it was the best time to watch this very deliberately paced movie from the 60s.
Yeah.
But what I did enjoy was his performance. It was that scene where he's fighting like other military guys at the end. He looks like he's throwing legit punches. And it's, to your point, he says a few lines early in the movie, but the whole second half of the film is just nonverbals. Very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
It's a tough sit. It's tough to get through.
It's hard.
I believe it's also Harvey Keitel's film debut as well.
It is.
Oh, really?
Oh, wait a minute. Was Harvey Keitel the one he was fighting with? Because I know Harvey Keitel was as one of the soldiers.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's him.
Okay. It is on Turner Movie Classics this month.
On TCM.
It's an enjoyable watch.
It was Harvey Keitel's first movie role.
There you go.
I have nothing of substance to add, so I'm just going to build off of James's point about PG movies being reckless. And last school year, I was in a pinch. I can only watch PG-13 movies if I have a permission slip because it's still high school at a Catholic school. So I needed a PG movie because I couldn't get permission slips out in time, so we watched Jaws.
A movie which famously kills a child in like the first 10 minutes.
I have a feeling Jaws is going to come up again in this episode as well later, so it's a good point. That's hilarious.
There is a creature feature classic coming, so that's a good tease. John Huston called him, wanted to talk to him. The guy got super lucky out of like just starting his career trying to hang out with a pretty girl. Turns into playing a pretty substantial role in a John Huston film in your first movie.
It definitely led to leading roles within the next 5 to 10 years, like for sure.
Following that, he does one episode each of NYPD premiere and Judd for the Defense, like many actors getting work on TV. They're in the 60s. And then he played a character named Nick in The Stalking Moon, which I haven't seen, but people have said good things about that movie.
I've heard the same thing. Quentin Tarantino talked about it in an interview.
That wouldn't shock me at all.
No.
2 years later is going to be our highest critic score, which is a film called Medium Cool. It plays John. Pretty sure he's the main lead in this film as a journalist. Dan's our guest Munson.
It is available on YouTube. Uncut and commercial free on YouTube.
Damn.
Medium Cool. I had never heard of this film. So thank you for that, actually. 1969, starring Robert Forster and Verna Bloom. A few other folks that we'll mention in a minute. This is an interesting movie. It shares a lot in common with what Case mentioned, with Reflections in the Golden Eye. Not the least of which is the full frontal nudity that Robert Forster seemed to perpetuate in the previous film 2 years ago. He brought it back with a vengeance in this one. There is an extended nude scene between he and Mariana Hill, who plays his kind of girlfriend for a little while in the film. They kind of chase each other around his bedroom for, I want to say it goes on for about 7 minutes of screen time. But also it's kind of indicative and almost like a microcosm of what this film was about. This is an incredibly experimental film. It's kind of part of this like new Hollywood wave of films that were becoming popular in the late 60s, like Easy Rider, and then a year later you'd have 5 Easy Pieces. 2 years earlier you'd have The Trip with Peter Fonda directing. It is a disjointed film, and I just realized too, it's also the only film starring Robert Forster that is currently in the Criterion Collection because of its cultural and aesthetic significance. So the critics really did love this film. They were okay forgiving a lot of the plot that happens in it, which ostensibly is Forster plays this TV reporter who eventually gets assigned to cover the Democratic National Convention in Chicago in 1968. And what you really take away from the film is basically like the seamless meshing of art and history. So like as a historical document, this film really works because you're getting like actual footage of the Democratic National Convention. He plays a guy named John Cassavetes, who ironically found in the notes too, the part was originally offered to John Cassavetes, and he was just going to play a character named John Cassavetes, which I thought kind of served as maybe not a blueprint, but definitely reminded me of some meta things that occur in more recent history. An example I could give would be Jerry Seinfeld playing a character named Jerry Seinfeld on his own sitcom.
Yeah.
So they changed the character's name just slightly when Cassavetes became unavailable to do the film. They changed it to Don Cassavetes and got Forster to play it. And he kind of goes on like this series of interviews and little stories. He eventually gets involved with a woman who is a single mom in Chicago. He kind of gets involved with kind of helping her with her 12-year-old son, becomes kind of like a father figure there. And really that is the extent of the plot. You're really more supposed to, I feel this movie through a sense of what you're seeing, how you feel about, these revolutionary things that are kind of happening in America in 1968. And I found that to be like really, really interesting. I would kind of be interested in showing this to a group of people and just seeing what their reaction to it would be, just kind of seeing this stuff live. As a historical document, this film is pretty interesting. As a movie, and as someone who, nothing wrong with a good plot in a movie with some story and some character development and so on. It definitely left me lacking there, but it still was interesting. It still held my interest there, and I think I would end up recommending it to people. Ebert gave this movie 4 stars. Wow. He said it was the most successful of these late 60s films, and he compares it to Easy Rider and The Rain People and Alice's Restaurant and some of these other films. Like I said, Criterion loved it enough to preserve it.
I'm so mad I didn't watch it now. Mulholland Drive isn't in the Criterion Collection?
Mulholland Drive is a Criterion release.
It wasn't at the time, Dan. It is now, as of today.
As of today, it just got in?
Today, they got it in today. He's on the short list. He gets the Amazon Prime membership version. He gets it right away.
That's right.
That should have been in there 15 years ago.
That's right. Right. I mean, I watched Heartbreak High or the Kinky Coaches and the Pom-Pom Pussycats on YouTube. I could have at least watched Medium Cool right after it. God damn it. Leading role 2 years into his career.
Yeah, he is definitely the star. Some of his body parts are the stars of certain scenes as well.
In this movie, did his career feel like it was arcing up?
Kind of like in Reflections of a Golden Eye, he doesn't really say a whole lot.
Okay.
He doesn't have a lot of dialogue. I don't even want to say they're big scenes, at the risk of being punny. They're medium scenes where he starts to have a reaction to what's going on around him, and he starts to get angry. But they come and go very quickly, and they're interspersed with, like I said, these real events that are occurring. So he doesn't really get a chance to, act. And in fact, if you read Ebert's review, he doesn't even really talk about any of the performances. He compares them to other films and how other films like The Graduate kind of made him feel, and that's what Medium Cool does as well. He's perfectly cromulent in the role. No one would say at this point, only Forster could have played this role. It's almost as if the actors don't really matter. Verna Bloom is the one who really gets a chance to act as the single mom. Forster really doesn't get a whole lot to do except gradually get outraged, and he's fine there.
Perfectly cromulent is going to show up in the episode description. I'm just telling you now, because that's phenomenal.
It's a real word. It's in the dictionary now. Thank you, The Simpsons, for that.
Well, coming out of highest critic score, we hit the 70s. Part of being busy is you have 14 movies on your resume without a critic or audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. So he's busy, but probably a bunch of stuff you haven't heard of or seen before. We'll talk about a few of them here, including his first substantial TV work, which is on a show called Banyon. Played Miles. He was in 16 episodes of that show from 71 to 73.
I haven't seen it, but in my research, this show was received very poorly. because they would pay for the whole season, and they didn't have anything else to play. So if you had a bad show on, they would just let it ride out. It got canceled before the end of season 1, and I don't even think it made a full run.
Damn.
I think this was one of the things that maybe hurt him. I'm guessing it was a lead role, and I'm thinking they were looking at him and going, you know what, if this guy's going to be a box office draw.
He was the lead role, and he got paid a ton of money at the time per episode, which was $10,000.
Dang, that's a ton of money now.
Yeah, they thought it was going to be a hit, and it flopped.
So he returned to Broadway in 73. He was in the revival of A Streetcar Named Desire and in a production of 12 Angry Men. So doing some more Broadway work, returned to the theater.
A little Marlon Brando connection.
That's right.
Streetcar Named Desire.
Mm-hmm.
Does he play Kowalski?
That I don't know.
That'd be cool.
A lot of times I find that they don't give that level of detail with the Broadway stuff.
I couldn't find like who he played.
They just tell you they were in it. They won't tell you what role they played, unfortunately, a lot of times. But we have a TV movie called The Death Squad, where he plays Eric Benoit from 74.
Everything we've talked about him not doing, he's doing all of that right now. And he's the main lead. It's basically a Serpico type story where he's a cop that got suspended and they brought him on to try to figure out. There's a group of vigilante policemen who, whenever guilty criminals were getting off because of technicalities, this group of police officers would then take the law into their own hands, and they brought him in to figure out who it was. It's only like an hour and 10 minutes long because it's a TV movie. I found it very enjoyable. I thought it was a well-told story, especially for a lower-budget 1974 TV movie. But he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this movie, and he does a pretty good job with it.
Is this the start to his playing a cop in films?
I think so, yeah.
He does it a lot in his career.
Oh, yeah.
Gets naked a lot on screen and plays a lot of cops. He fights an avalanche in 1978's Avalanche as Nick. He doesn't fight the avalanche. He just tries to warn people that maybe shouldn't build a bunch of shit on the top of this mountain. And then a plane crashes into said mountain and starts an avalanche.
To be fair, who could have saw that plane coming?
If somebody crashes a plane at the top of a mountain with lots of snow, you're probably going to cause an avalanche no matter what. He just got lucky. This movie is terrible. It's awful.
Terrible. Yeah, it's one of the worst disaster movies out there.
This is the only movie in the list of all of his movies that I was sad I didn't get to.
You shouldn't be sad.
Because I tried to make time for this and I couldn't.
It's not a bad watch. It's pretty terrible.
I mean, you've got Rock Hudson, Mia Farrow, so like it had some big hitters there in the 70s, but...
Oh, yeah.
Looking at this trailer on IMDb, I don't know what you guys were talking about. This looks great.
If you're going to do it for pure camp, you'll probably have some enjoyment. But if you're looking for a good movie, you have not found the right movie. But he got married for a second time in 78. Married Zivia Forster. They were married from 78 to 80s. Marriage did not last very long. But that's okay. You know, you bounce back. You keep it going. You keep it moving. 1979, Disney picture, The Black Hole. Played Captain Holland. I think they were trying to capture the Star Wars energy and trying to like do something similar.
I love this movie. This movie is amazing.
All right.
I didn't hate it.
It's Disney, right? So there's got to be some money involved with it.
Mm-hmm.
2, how are the special effects so terrible? If it comes 2 years after Star Wars, and you have to have some Disney money attached to that. Those lasers in Black Hole are god awful.
It's an interesting premise. Max Schell, who plays the Doctor.
Yeah.
Intriguing character. Robert Forster plays the captain of this team who has to go into this ship, to try to figure out what's going on. It's like a really bizarre story.
When Anthony Perkins gets sliced and diced by that giant red robot of Maximilian Schell's, at that point, you can't look away.
It's available on Disney Plus. People want to check it out. Another lead role for Robert Forster, though. Some of the most goofy-looking robots you'll ever see in your life.
So what I'm hearing from you is remake?
I would not be shocked.
Disney's got one on their hands?
Yeah, this seems ripe for a remake.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best kind of remake because no one will have known that this already happened.
Yeah.
It got nominated for 2 Oscars, this movie.
Best visual effects.
Best visual effects and best cinematography.
You mentioned some lasers. I didn't see this, but I've seen some of those laser shots in Star Wars.
The largest critic app. A creature feature. called Alligator from 1980. I think this is the big one of what everybody really came to talk about, and James has the review.
I did.
When you told me this is what I was going to review, I looked it up, and without reading any of the reviews and just reading the synopsis, I was like, this sounds like something I will thoroughly enjoy. It looks stupid. It sounds stupid. And what I can say after watching it is if you're scrolling through a streaming queue looking for something weird, witty, and unexpectedly watchable, let me make a case for Alligator from 1980. It has a 87% critic score, 49% audience score. So that's a pretty big gap, almost 40% there. The premise sounds like pure schlock, which I kind of enjoy every once in a while. I know Aubrey's also a fan. It's a baby alligator gets flushed down the toilet, lives in Chicago sewers, and it eats discarded lab animals pumped with growth hormones and grows into a massive monster that terrorizes the city. That's the plot. That's all you need. It's clearly based off that urban legend of like the alligators living in the New York City sewers eating homeless people. And while it sounds stupid, it's actually kind of fun. Forster plays a detective. He's assigned to figure out why people keep disappearing and showing up half-eaten in where the sewer empties into the bay. And what I found fascinating about his performance is like he brings like a calm, steady presence that makes you believe every word he's saying. I think it's the reason this movie works at all. The premise is outrageous, and he never once like winks at the camera. He plays it straight. He has dry humor. He's charismatic, but he doesn't make it like a joke upon itself. And he kind of grounds this whole movie that ends up being like better than it has any right to be. I'd say there's probably 4 or 5 jokes mixed in where people are talking to him about his hair thinning and like what he can do to fix it. And, you know, he can get a haircut. Like, and he's just like, can you guys just stop bringing it up? Like, I'm insecure about it. And it made me laugh. It humanized the character out of nowhere. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny for like one of these movies. And when I looked it up, the screenwriter gave Forster the freedom to put those jokes in because Forster himself was having hair problems. And he's like, what if we start making jokes about the hair problems that I'm actually having? And the screenwriter's like, I don't think your hair looks bad. And he's like, dude, everyone makes jokes about it. Just give me a couple lines. And when they did the screen testing, the screenwriter was like, I don't want this to be funny. It's supposed to be scary. And everyone loved the jokes so much that he's like, fuck it, keep it in. They're dying laughing at the hair jokes. So if everyone likes that, keep it in the movie. The script layers in kind of some satire about like shady corporations and reckless science experiments and corrupt city politics. You know, the alligator isn't just a random beast. It's literally the byproduct of greed, which is an interesting dimension to see for like a movie that's supposed to be stupid, which has kind of a smart premise. Feels like smarter than it really needs to be, but it was fun to see kind of play out. But let's talk about the monster itself. So it's 1980s, right? You're not getting sleek CGI. What I've learned from watching these old horror movies is I yearn for more practical effects because they hold up so fucking well.
Yeah.
This movie, it's clear they're like, we don't have a budget to actually get a massive animatronic alligator. So we're going to do what they did in Jaws, which clearly they've stole a ton of their inspiration from. And we're going to have moody music. We're going to have probably just the alligator's head being actually practically made. And then they took little alligators and they put mini sets to make it look massive. It's like so smart. It looks totally great, but it holds up surprisingly well. And there's actually kind of like a gritty charm to watching this like practical effect alligator bursting through sidewalks and like crashing into like fancy outdoor wedding receptions. At one point, the alligator makes it to a wedding and starts just cartoonishly launching caterers all over the wedding. Of course, someone gets thrown through the wedding cake. Got to do that. You get a bridesmaid who just gets swallowed whole. It's what you're signing up for here. Also, I find it kind of funny because the alligator moves so fucking slow.
Yeah.
So like everyone who gets eaten by the alligator has to be like somewhat distracted by all the screaming and be like, what's going on here? And like you see this huge tank of an alligator slowly waddle up and eat the person. Makes it less scary, but somewhat funny when people get eaten. Also, like enjoyable but corny. Little side note that I learned is Bryan Cranston, Munson legend, worked on the special effects on this film when he was starting out, and
Really?
he had to rig some of the alligator guts for the film's finale, which is when it explodes, which is hilarious.
There was good cinematography in that to build a lot of tension.
I was like, you know what? It's not bad. I think, honestly, what holds this movie back is it's just not that scary.
Yeah.
I think that's what holds it from being considered great, but it's clever. It's funny, maybe unintentionally funny in some spots where it might have wanted to been serious. And it's got a performance from Forster that kind of makes you wish every B movie leading man like committed this much to playing it serious so everything else could be so stupid. I very much enjoyed it. I will side with the critics on this. I don't think I'd go as high as an 87. That's like legendary status. I would go like low 70s.
I loved all the subtle parallels between this and Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
Everything from, killing a young boy with the alligator, walking the plank, to the camera that gets recovered. And you see all these obscure photos of an alligator. It's a blast.
The little kid getting eaten by the alligator was so funny to me because it's just like he's getting bullied like on Halloween night kind of ish. And his friends are like, well, you better walk the plank and jump into the pool. And the moment he jumps into the pool, they then realize this like 30-foot alligator's in there and he just swallows the kid up.
So funny.
Yeah, no remorse.
It's Donald. I was like, Donald's fucking gone. What is your mom going to do? Like, he's done, dude.
Donald is not.
You need to run fast.
Yes.
I like this movie because, of course, I do. I like all these movies. I don't like it as much as you guys do. I've thought about this more than anything else because obviously this was the one that meant the most to me. Why do I not like this movie as much as you guys did? I wonder if it's because some of these older monster movies, they don't lean into the ridiculousness of it enough for me.
Yeah.
I like that. I kind of want there to be a character that's just like absolutely insanely stupid. Like I needed like a comical alligator wrangler.
Okay.
Or some shit like that. Like I needed something to just be like, hey, this is stupid. And this movie, it almost played it straight in a way that I was just like, wait a minute. Are we all here for the same reasons? I can't not like it. If a little child is going to lose their baby alligator by being flushed down the toilet, and then it turns into this ever-growing monster alligator that can then burst out of a sewer through a sidewalk and ruin a baseball game and eat a police officer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm game.
Yeah.
I also just love that the way that they went about showing us the alligator was eating someone was to cut to alligator, cut to person, cut back to alligator with person in alligator's mouth, cut away, cut back to that person with blood on them now. It was great. I love that.
Yeah.
And I mean that seriously. I think it was amazing. It's a good time. I just didn't have as good of a time as I wanted.
Aubrey, I thought you were going to say you didn't like this movie because of the flimsy police procedurals and the questionable scientific standards.
I don't know if you know this about me, Case, but that's what I thrive on those in my movies.
So are you criticizing Forster's character or his colleagues in that one case?
He got fired for asking a question. I mean, he had to turn his badge in.
That's true.
It's crazy talk. I mean, come on, people.
Doesn't he complain about his hairline and Jackie Brown too? So, like, it's a recurring theme?
Yeah.
The story he tells in that is a real life story.
He has a guy with a baby alligator in a box arrested just because he has an alligator there.
Yeah. We're going full shutdown on alligators.
Public safety. Public safety. So next we're going to talk about some Hollywood revisionist history. If you look this up on IMDb, it'll say Heartbreak High. It's bullshit. This movie's original title was The Kinky Coaches and the Pom-Pom Pussycats. But like Hollywood has to do, they have to change the name because it's a fucking ridiculous name. But he his first coach role, from what I can parse, coaches Case and McKay here, Coach Arnaldi. Did you guys catch him in his coach role, and do you have an official review of his coaching philosophy?
Unfortunately, I did not.
From what I could tell, he's very much a rah-rah, always positive kind of coach. He would never yell at his own players.
Okay.
He plays the coach of the rival school, and you would want a character who you hate, but he's like really nice and it's hard to hate him. So I don't think the character was probably written well. But this movie is god-awful, but I had to watch it because of it has a ridiculous title.
He does play roles that ground stories very well in bad and good movies.
That was such a better and well thought out opinion than what I was about to say, which was he looks like a coach.
Correct as well.
I could buy him as a high school football coach, 100%. Largest audience gap is 1982's Vigilante. His character named Eddie. This is my review. Anybody else unfortunate enough to carve out time to watch Vigilante?
No, sir.
We'll get to educate the masses here. So Vigilante, 68-20 split on Rotten Tomatoes. So 68 for the audiences, 20 for the critics. And much like Craig Case, I'm with the critics all the way on this because this movie's god-awful. Apparently this movie was very popular in Germany and England. The director said the only place it didn't do anything was Japan, which is weird because it didn't do anything for me either. So he was wrong.
So add Chicago to that list.
That's right. So here's the plot. After his wife and son got brutalized by a street gang and a corrupt criminal justice system puts the perpetrators back on the street, a New York City factory worker teams up with a vigilante group to find some measure of bloody justice. Get you guys intrigued?
Yeah. Your delivery was excellent.
Well, thank you. It's better than anything delivered in the movie. Forster, he plays the factory worker whose wife and son are murdered by this street gang. And keep in mind, speaking of kids dying, his son takes a shotgun straight to the chest. Like, they don't show it, but they allude to it. And it's like very gruesome. Like, you would anticipate if you were a father in that situation that you might become unhinged emotionally. I don't know, for the fathers on the podcast, you'd be Sean Penn from Mystic River. Fair assessment? Yeah, that's not Robert Forster in this movie. He shows zero emotion. Zilch.
I mean, maybe if you don't love your child, it's a little easier,
Or if you were conspiring with the street gang, maybe.
Of course.
And it's not like I'm still in shock situation where I can't respond. Like, you can respond to things. Again, bad writing, bad acting, I can't tell you. Tony Musante was originally cast as Eddie. After he dropped out, the director sought Robert Forster because of one of his previous roles. Can you guys guess the role?
Medium cool.
Alligator.
Oh, Alligator.
Hell yeah.
He liked him in Alligator, and he was like, I need him. If I can't get Tony Musante, get me a Forster. So the film gives practically no backstory to build any empathy for the audience. The plot gave him a chance to dig in and show some serious emotion, but you just don't get it. It's only after the judge throws out the case against the gang that he finally loses his mind and he tries to physically assault the judge. But it takes a long time to see any type of emotion come from him. His character is not written well. He doesn't play it very well. But some other fun facts about the movie I thought you guys would find interesting. This film apparently did well with profits, even though Forster had to help set up shots because there wasn't like any money available on the team. However, the director never saw any of the profits because the guy who was in charge of production fled the country with over $1 million from the company and disappeared. So the director didn't see anything. I know why the audience liked this movie so much, because it's a vigilante revenge flick. You saw something horrific happen to this woman and her child, and you get to watch this like group of guys who work with him at a car repair place take out these gang members one by one. But the plot's a mess. There's no emotional backstory. There's really confusing interpersonal dynamics. Firmly on the side of the critics, it's a terrible movie. Don't go watch it. And so I feel like 82, when he talks about how his career is like really going in the dumpster, this is a big reason of it. Like here in the early 80s with Vigilante and the kinky coaches, like those are roles that most actors probably only take because they have to.
This movie falls right in line with the Vigilante movies. The first Death Wish movie with Charles Bronson was in 1974. Mm-hmm. And within a little over 10 years, they made 3 more of them. And this fits like right in the middle of it. Was that studio's answer to Death Wish. And we've got more Vigilante movies coming up, too. His career certainly has some trends.
He definitely blames another role coming up as well.
Does it involve a martial artist?
Oh, Delta Force?
Yeah, where he's not white anymore.
In 86, where he plays Abdul, who's a terrorist. As you said, anybody Italian at this time could play a vaguely Middle Eastern character, right?
And it still kind of gets used a little, not as much as it was prominently back then. It was like accepted in Hollywood that any darker-skinned Italian man could essentially play any South American country nationality most of the Mediterranean and the Middle East, Native Americans, pretty much anyone's like, is he white? I think so. And then it's like, oh no, he's talking with an accent. He must not be white. And so Forster is Italian as well. And they were like, you could be Palestinian, right? And like, yeah, fuck it, you're Palestinian. Like, sure.
Sure. How much you paying me?
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
It's pretty bad, man. The movie's not good. It's fucking Chuck Norris movie, who may be one of the worst action stars possible.
Hold on. Wait, what?
He's bad. He's good as Walker, Texas Ranger, but he's bad in this movie. Actively bad.
Chuck Norris was carrying people out of helicopters. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw his motorcycle with little rockets that would shoot rockets out the back. It was pretty nifty.
I didn't know we were an anti-Chuck Norris podcast. I just found that out tonight. 124 episodes in, I just found out that I'm the only person that likes Chuck Norris. Shame on me.
Listen, I don't care that he saved Average Joe's gym in Dodgeball. The Delta Force is actively a bad movie.
These Chuck Norris action movies in the 80s, I've yet to have somebody explain to me why they were popular.
I think Chuck Norris was huge in 86.
Yeah.
He was. He had to be.
He was like Hulk Hogan huge.
Yeah. He had the Octagon going on a couple years before this. And I think this movie shot him to a whole new level. Have you seen the cast of this movie?
Oh, yeah.
There's at least 4 Academy Award winners in this cast.
This was Lee Marvin's last movie.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
He was actively dealing with major problems on set to where, he couldn't walk well.
James, did you see the same interview I did where he said that he thought this movie typecast him as a villain for several years after this?
He's like, I did this movie, and then it's like I couldn't get anything that wasn't somewhat similar to this role for the next 13 years.
Yeah.
So you're saying he was good at playing the terrorist? Is that what I'm hearing? He was exceptional at it? That's the implication.
He made a joke like, listen, I played a non-white character and I got away with it. He's like, the problem was people only wanted me to play a bad guy for the next decade of my life.
Yeah.
So that means he probably ruled at it. He was awesome.
Well, the movie we skipped over quickly and didn't talk about, which was Hollywood Harry. It's the only movie he's directed. I read that he invested practically his life savings into this movie because he played the main character, wrote it, directed, and produced it. And I don't think it went over very well.
In any capacity, box office, critics. You say he invested his life savings. The budget on this movie was $125,000. I think that might be a bit of a stretch.
Call those the Imperial life savings around these parts.
Listen, he only did 16 episodes of Banyon, so that's $160K right there.
There you go. All that money, he didn't get any interest on it because it was sitting escrowed trying to greenlight Hollywood Harry. I did not watch this movie.
I didn't either. Did 2 episodes of Murder, She Wrote in 1986 and 1995, came back 9 years later.
If I'm not mistaken, in the literary world, if you do the math, the town that is based on has 5,000% higher crime than anywhere else on the planet. Because every week there's a murder in this small town.
Yeah.
And somebody has done the math out there, and it's the most dangerous place on earth is Angela Lansbury's Murder, She Wrote.
Outside of Vatican City.
I just looked it up. There's 274 murders in a town of 3,500 people, making it the murder capital of the world.
Keep your doors locked at all times, man.
And somehow he got 2 episodes out of the deal, so he's doing something right.
So in 89, he's in a movie called The Banker, who plays a character named Dan. Surprisingly enjoyed it. It's a story about this banker who leads a double life. He murders basically call girls, and he's went off to South America a year before and is stuck into this weird kind of unexplained South American cult. So everything he's doing is part of these rituals that he's pursuing. And so Robert Forster is a cop who's trying to track this guy down the whole time. And it's a weirdly intoxicating movie to watch.
That's got very American Psycho vibes to it, the way you describe it, which comes out not too long after this.
Yeah, the guy who played the villain, Duncan Reger, I thought was pretty good in his role. Pretty convincing. I don't know, just kind of caught me off guard. I was used to a lot of movies in that time from him that were just actively bad, but this one I didn't mind. But you'll notice from our show notes, 1989 and 97, I don't have anything listed because, to your guys' point, he's getting casted as a villain in a bunch of really bad movies during that time. So it wasn't until just before 97 to where he's sitting in a little diner, a little coffee shop that he goes to every morning in Santa Monica, Quentin Tarantino walks in the door one day, and he had auditioned for a role in Reservoir Dogs a few years before. So he had met Tarantino.
Oh.
Because of that interview, Quentin walks in, he shouts and says, "Hey, come on over." He's sitting there talking to his friends. He eventually asks Tarantino, "What do you work on?" And he tells him he's working on adapting a screenplay from a book, yada, yada, yada. Nothing really comes of it. A couple years later, probably 96 by now, and he walks into the same diner he goes to every day. Tarantino's in his seat where he sits every day. I know Forster's going to be here this morning.
Yeah.
And shows up and basically says, "Hey, I'm going to do this movie, Jackie Brown. Here's a script. Would you like to take a look at it?" And so he credits Tarantino as being the person who fundamentally transformed his career, because it sounds like he was about to quit acting. And I don't think this will be where I want to spend my time and energy going forward, raising family.
That's a very cool story.
He described his career as being totally dead. He's like,
Yep.
No agent, no manager, no lawyer, nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, and then this guy hands me a script, says, "Read it if you like it." It's like, I took it home, I read it, and I could not believe he was talking to me about the Max Cherry role.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, immediately, I was like, this is me. I need this role. He's like, I could not believe he was doing that. And I found it refreshing that Forster, whenever anyone asks him about like success, anything advice he'd give to people, he always brings up how luck is a huge part of it. Like, you have to get lucky. It's part of the things. Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Quentin Tarantino wanting to revitalize my career personally.
And Tarantino was complimentary and very thoughtful about Robert Forster. And somebody asked him, about saving his career or something. And his response was, I just put him in a movie. The guy's a great actor.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I love about Tarantino is it's not this like ironic, publicity-driven career resurrections that he does. He literally said, "I think he's cool. I think he's a good actor. I thought he'd be perfect in this role."
Yeah.
It's really fun to watch what he does with actors that he really like. As time has gone on, I've become a bigger and bigger fan, especially because of this podcast. I've become a bigger fan of Quentin Tarantino because I realize how much of his work is influences by shit he thought was cool when he was growing up and when he was a young guy. It's
totally agree. Forster even said the same. He's like, Pam Grier said the same thing. It's like he kind of came and found me and said, "I think you'd be great for this role. Will you audition for it?" And they both kind of like connected off the fact of like he came out of nowhere to kind of revitalize our careers because of this movie specifically.
He said his goal, his motivation on this movie was to get Forster, Grier, and Jackson Academy Award nominations. And he said it was funny because Pam Grier and Samuel Jackson were getting all of the Golden Globes, the SAG writers, all the award nominations, and Forster wasn't getting anything.
Yeah, all the precursors.
When it came to the Academy Awards, it flipped, and he got nominated, and the other two didn't get anything.
There's so much to talk about here. First, I think it is a fun exercise for anybody that wants to see what exactly a dead career looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Just go and look at the movies that he was making leading up to this.
Oh, yes.
It's insane what he was making. So I get it.
Yeah, they're bad. Maniac Cop 3, Badge of Silence.
Yeah.
He's arguably in a tougher spot than Travolta was when Travolta came back.
Oh, yeah.
Travolta at least had like a mega hit with Look Who's Talking 5 years before Pulp Fiction. Forster had Murder, She Wrote in 86.
No, I think his career was over, and Tarantino, or this movie, resurrected it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Gave it the legs to go as far as it went, because it was over. You're making movies like that. You're not coming back from those things. The Oscars bit is, I think, interesting, which I'm sure we'll get into his performance specifically. That's an Oscars year that he got nominated in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just look at it and I'm like, well, does he belong in this group with these people?
He was pretty funny about it. He's like, when it came to the Oscar nomination, it's the night before the Oscars and I'm hanging out with some of my friends, and one of my friends gives me the advice of, "Hey, I know you're really excited and it's like an incredible honor for your career to be there. But when they're about to announce Robin Williams, don't stand up because you think they're about to say Robert." He's like, I stayed planted in my seat. I did not expect to win.
It's a great year to have on your resume.
For sure.
Because sometimes you look back at these and it's like, it's a bunch of duds and you're like, okay, it's a good one to have on there. This was a first watch. Jackie Brown was the the lone Tarantino directed movie I hadn't seen up until this point.
Oh, wow.
For no other reason than I just didn't get to it. There was nobody really hard selling Jackie Brown to me. And I absolutely adore this movie. Like, I think he might actually be a genius. And I know that's something that gets tossed around a lot, but I think he might actually be a genius. And I think Robert Forster is a great example of his genius. He's really good at directing actors.
Yes.
I don't have the same admiration for his career as it seems like Case does, or his abilities. And he's really good in this movie. And I really just think Tarantino, as like an absolute mega cinephile nerd, saw Robert Forster and was like, he's actually the only person that can probably pull this off.
Yeah.
Because you kind of need someone that you can kind of overlook. And you need someone that can play it straight, because Samuel Jackson is on fire in this movie.
Yeah.
Peak Samuel Jackson.
Right out the jump with Munson's crossover and Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Tucker's great too. And you just need someone that can kind of like hold it all together. And he does that really well. I absolutely adore this movie. I think it's amazing. I think what is accomplished throughout this movie is remarkable. It's in the conversation of the Tarantino movies where if you ask me on the right time, I'd tell you it's his best one.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop watching it. I love Tarantino's dialogue. The movie like pops the way when people start talking. And I love that because you watch so many movies and you just get used to like kind of pat dialogue. And then Tarantino characters show up and everyone's just bustling. And it brings so much energy to the movie. I'm so glad that we covered Robert Forster, so I had an excuse to watch this.
Yeah. I did a rewatch. I haven't seen it since the 90s. The thing that jumped out to me, and I'm glad I watched it in this context because I paid more attention to Robert Forster, the subtle chemistry that him and Pam Grier have is incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a very understated role where he has to wear a lot of his emotions on his sleeves, right? It's not a lot of spoken dialogue coming from him that way.
Yeah.
Didn't they say this was their favorite Tarantino movie?
Probably Rigby.
Might have been Rigby, though.
Let's just say Rigby.
I think it's the most underrated film. No one talks about this in the same way that they do Inglourious Bastards and Pulp Fiction and stuff like that.
I mean, it's buried in between Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction and then the two Kill Bills. Because the Kill Bills, everybody was like, there's another one coming. And so everybody was so fixated on those that, and Pulp Fiction was just such a masterpiece that it unfortunately gets buried between there.
Great Michael Keaton role, too.
Yeah.
Oh, he's awesome. It's definitely at a different frequency than any other Tarantino movie.
Oh, yeah.
I feel.
Less intentionally kind of over the top, which is interesting to say about a movie that, like, someone gets executed for being mean in a parking lot. Like, and it's just, like, feels a little bit more realistic, I guess, than some of his other movies, which I do enjoy how over the top they are. I mean, I love Tarantino movies, but, like, I don't know, this one feels a little bit more subtle.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, let's go to his big award-nominated film, to a film where he gets murdered in the most comical way possible. Very patriotically murdered in Uncle Sam, where he plays Congressman Cummings.
The classic social commentary, Uncle Sam. You guys, I had a laugh out loud moment when I realized that the name of this horror movie is Uncle Sam because one of the main characters is this kid and his uncle is killed in war and his name is Sam. So this movie is about his uncle, Sam. It's so funny. And
he wears an Uncle Sam outfit while he's doing his murders. So we're really going to hammer on that.
I'm going to be honest, you guys, you haven't made this sound as bad as you're alluding to it being.
I'm in.
This goes back to kind of the Alligator premise where, like, so far, you kind of have me a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm in.
Case, did I miss them explaining the zombie to Uncle Sam and why he's still alive? Like, I don't think they ever explained it. The first scene, guys, is like a convoy coming upon his group who had been ambushed. And he's in the plane, and this guy comes up to, like, check on the body, and he just, like, wakes up from a zombie-like state, stabs this dude.
It's just friendly fire.
It's just friendly fire. And then it cuts to, like, the opening credits, and then he gets sent home. And this kid, guys, this kid is so unhinged, patriotic boner style.
Oh, God.
He is like, I can't wait to serve. I can't wait to, like,
hell yeah,
die for my country. I can't wait to fucking get...
It's hilarious.
Sounds like a Proud American to me, Kyle.
Very MAGA.
But James, the part that makes this difficult to watch is the whole first half of the movie. They bring him back, and they're getting ready to have some like ceremony. They have his dead body in a casket in their house for like a week.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, they're Catholic.
They're Catholic. Uncle Sam kills everybody who's not super patriotic. Says something bad about America.
Or smokes weed.
You can't smoke weed. You can't say bad things about America. Otherwise, you get hatcheted to death. Or in the case of Robert Forster, you get
crucified
with fireworks coming out of your chest and blown to pieces.
Yeah.
I gotta see this movie. I'm so upset.
Well,
Yeah, so wait, this is bad?
buyer beware, James. Buyer beware.
This sounds so funny.
I have a feeling it was filmed before
Of course.
and then released afterwards. He doesn't show up till what, the last third of the movie?
Yeah, I
He's a congressman that's showing up at this 4th of July community festival.
know that he's going to Rear Window with Daryl Hannah, Christopher Reeve, after Jackie Brown in 1998.
It's a big movie.
It was.
Alfred Hitchcock remake. One of the first movies Christopher Reeves did after his accident. So this had a big pop.
Mm-hmm. Remember talking about it on the Daryl Hannah episode.
I'm a little disappointed about how we just unceremoniously moved on from Uncle Sam.
I mean, Uncle Sam would take us out for how unpatriotic we were.
I'm here for the remake. I'm here for the remake and revisiting this. And by revisiting it, I mean watching it for the first time.
But until then, let's talk about the Millennium and how he played AJ in Supernova alongside the Queen, Angela Bassett. He plays the leader of this group of astronauts who gets murdered accidentally in the first act, I guess. He's dying a lot in the late 90s is what I'm saying in films.
Yeah.
It's science experiment gone wrong, and it's a really, really bad movie. I'm sure this movie probably lost a bunch of money in the box office case.
$90 million budget. World grossed $15 million.
Yep.
Losing $75 million.
Oh, I watched this movie. Yeah, this movie sucked.
It's got a 10% critic and 17% fans, so 17% of the fans liked it. That's exciting.
James Robin Tunney, the Tunney Honeys.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah, Lou.
You know it's good if Lou Diamond Phillips is in it.
He's a fan of the pod.
And no, it's not a Cinemax erotic fantasy.
Yeah.
Shout out Rigby.
Bad villain in that movie. That would be my short review. Let's move to a much more exciting movie to talk about, and that's Me, Myself, and Irene. He plays Colonel Partington alongside Jim Carrey and Renee Zellweger.
He mentioned, going back to Getting Lucky, he's like, after the success of Jackie Brown, I'm getting invited to Hollywood parties, and at this point I know I need to start networking. It's like, and I'm at a party and I see Jim Carrey, and I go up to him and I shake his hand and I say, really liked you in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and anything I've ever seen you in. You and Robin Williams are the only people who can do what you do. And, you blow me away every time I see you. It's like a week later, I get a call from 20th Century Fox and it says, Jim Carrey wants you to play the head of the Rhode Island State Police in a movie he's got coming up. It's like, the only reason I got this role was because I complimented Jim Carrey at a party.
Networking 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays it pretty straight.
I mean, bro, you have to in a movie like that. You can't try to match anything Jim Carrey's doing in this movie.
Manic energy. Yeah.
He's back to his law enforcement days. That's exciting.
You guys like this movie?
I was not a fan of Me, Myself, and Irene. It made me very uncomfortable to watch it when I was a little kid.
Not really. Jim Carrey's manic energy, but the movie itself is hokey.
It's got some good parts.
I didn't rewatch this for the Carrey or Zellweger episode, so I'll let you infer.
I think this is the reason why I don't like Renee Zellweger. This is a formative movie for me in reference to her career.
Mm-hmm.
This woman sucks.
Yeah, it's just stuck in my mind that she's the woman that did this.
That'll hurt you. Well, here's the question, Aubrey. Do you like Mulholland Drive, where he plays Detective McKnight, alongside Dan Hedaya?
It's fine, like.
I think I like this movie.
All right. Do you appreciate its cinema? Which I'm sure the answer is probably yes. The David Lynch of it all?
There's some stuff in here that's really interesting. I can't say that I like it. I also would not say that I don't like it. I would say that I have no idea what it is that I watched.
That's the average viewer experience.
Admittedly, I'm not really a David Lynch guy. I'm slow to get to all of his stuff. This was the first watch for me. Also, I saw Twin Peaks. and was like, yikes, I didn't like Twin Peaks at all. And I was just kind of like, I don't really like this guy. This isn't my vibe. It's just a little too opaque for me.
The original Twin Peaks?
Yeah. He's a little too out there. And so while I understand why some people would really engage with that, I don't.
That's most David Lynch movies where you're like, what did I just experience?
Mm-hmm. And I'd recommend it to anyone that likes movies that are creative.
The David Lynch connection here is actually kind of heartbreaking when you listen to Robert Forster in his interviews, because he originally was going to play a role in the original Twin Peaks, but had to turn it down because of a scheduling conflict. And that obviously led into a really dark part of his career there, that 7 years between that and Jackie Brown. You play the what if game of he hadn't had that scheduling conflict and actually played that role, what it would have done for his career before Tarantino came around.
Wow.
Yeah.
But then he played in the revival in 2017, so he's able to finally work with David again. But before Mulholland Drive was this big feature film, I think it was a shorter version that came out 4 years before that, I think in 97, that he was also in before it became a full-length feature film. Is his character exactly what I expected to be?
Not in a way that I would describe it.
Well, how would you describe his role as Coach Wagner in Like Mike, 2002, alongside Bow Wow?
Transformative.
I think this movie is an abomination. And I refuse to watch it, even though Kyle has alluded to this multiple times that I should watch it. I watched this as a young person when it came out, and before I had any sense of what filmmaking was, I thought this movie was an abomination.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible, and no one should watch it.
I agree.
Respect to everyone involved, and respect to the creativity and the artwork, and I'm glad they all got to live their dream. Don't watch this movie.
Hey, man, so I can't even get the coach's perspective on that. I saw it on a plane 4 days ago.
You probably found it more enjoyable because of the elevation.
I'm going to be honest, the movie's whatever, but I actually like his role. I like the way his character's written. I'd say he's a much more refined coach in this movie than he was in Heartbreak High 20 years earlier.
A lot of experience between there.
Yeah, he's got 20 years of life experience to bring to the table.
You get better.
I was hoping to chop it up with you guys about his coaching philosophies, but you guys didn't see it, so it's okay.
I respect that you brought real analysis to this.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen this movie in 20-some years, and I remember it being absolutely atrocious. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean,
I'll also never find out because I will never watch this.
He's a very principled coach. He shows up late into the third quarter of the final game before the last game of the season, and Forster's like, you know my rule, you show up late, you don't play. And then the rest of the team is like, nah, coach, we only made it here because this 5'0" kid in his magic shoes got us here. What are you doing? So he's just like a principled coach, you know what I mean? He's no special treatment. You are what you get, But at the same time, he wants to mentor the kid and help him out and not get taken advantage of.
I can give you my take on that. That's not how coaching works.
correct.
My best player can show up 3.5 quarters late. You know what I'll say? Yo, what are you doing? That's terrible. Get in the game. We'll talk about this when this is over.
Get out there.
You're going to run sprints after this game. Hopefully we can come back and win.
Yeah.
Go out there, win the game for us, and then I'll yell at you. The only other two notes here is that Crispin Glover plays the creepy dude who manages the orphanage, which that tracks, right? Perfect casting.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of Jesse Plemons' first movie roles. He plays one of the other kids in the orphanage who's like really mean to Bow Wow the whole movie.
That's awesome.
You said the magic words. I might actually rewatch this now.
Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle. Plays Roger alongside Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu.
And Crispin Glover again.
That's right.
That's true.
That's way too much for one person to experience. That's like, you probably got a full 8 months hanging out with that guy.
That's a lot of Crispin Glover.
Yeah, man.
Also, I did forget to mention, by this point, he had already been on a couple episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger, to go back to the Chuck Norris connection as well. You were a terrorist in Delta Force? I got to get you into my show.
Let's make sure we get that in.
He started dating his longtime partner, Denise Grayson, in 2004, all the way up until his death. Then Lucky Number 11, 2006, alongside Lucy Liu, Stanley Tucci. A lot of Lucy Liu in this time. He was also in a really bad vampire movie with Lucy Liu called Rise, Blood of something in 2007. So a lot of Lucy Liu and Crispin Glover during this time for Robert Forster.
There's worse ways to spend your time than with Lucy Liu.
Very accurate. But it's with Josh Hartnett.
Yep.
Bruce Willis as the two assassins. Ben Kingsley plays kind of like the mob boss in that, the rabbi. James, I feel like you're our resident heroes expert.
Of course.
He played Arthur in 10 episodes, 2007-08.
He came in season 3, which is when the show fully sucked.
That's why I don't remember him.
Yeah, it was bad. What's so frustrating about this show is it's got incredibly cool premises that it just simply cannot execute on after season 1. So he plays the father of like 2 of the main characters who have superpowers. One of his sons can fly and the other one can partially absorb powers from other people. And what made him fascinating is he was the person who started all of these superpower things, and he had the same power as his son, only to like the nth degree where he could absorb forever other people's powers. And so he became like this incredibly difficult to defeat kind of nuanced bad guy. But like everything with this show, it seems like it was written like episode by episode, because when he eventually dies, he's just like shot in the head with a bullet. And, like, I've seen this man time travel. I've seen this man shoot lasers out of his hands, and then he dies like normal one of us. It felt cheap. What sucks though is he's good in this role. The authoritative figure. Is he a good guy? I think so. Maybe he's not a good guy. The exact type like TV show you'd watch at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday on the WB back in the day.
That's unfortunate. It is. It's also unfortunate that Aubrey had to watch our lowest critic score, which is a movie called Calamity from 2010, and I wonder if the movie lives up to its name.
Unfortunate for who? For some of us, it's very fortunate. I feel like Aubrey's truly disgusted when he gets the lowest critic score.
That's right.
He takes it personal.
I knew that Kyle was going to make the low-hanging fruit joke of the movie title's name. I was just waiting for how long it was going to take for him to get there. And he didn't disappoint.
That's right.
It took seconds for him to get there.
Like most things in life for me. Thank you, James.
Okay, so Calamity is a 2010 movie written and directed by James Hausler, I want to say is his name. It stars not a single person that I've ever heard of other than Robert Forster. The premise is pretty basic. After a recent breakup, Billy returns to his hometown to find something is not quite right with his best friend. Billy goes off to what I think is college and comes home after he breaks up with his girlfriend. His best friend also had a breakup at some point in time, and they're both really sad about it. And that is essentially the movie. And it causes one of the characters to react in a way that, you know, it's toxic, maybe one would say. He begins killing people because he's sad. And I will give this movie credit for trying. I will also say I've never seen a movie quite like this. I hate this movie. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. But I couldn't stop watching it because I've never seen anything like this before. And I've been thinking about this all day. I can't think of a movie that was really trying to be like thought-provoking, artistic, like a real cinephiles movie that digs into something that has like a heart to it. And it just misses in its execution. It's morally reprehensible. It's questionable why one would watch this movie and engage with it in any real way. They're trying to make real high art, and none of it lands. And I think what I find most frustrating is Stanley is really upset about his girlfriend. He ends up killing her and then a bunch of other people. It's trying to do this thing around the idea of like trauma. One hurt could cause you to go in very different paths. So you have 2 characters that experience the same quote unquote trauma here and are hurt, and they both go in different directions. And the movie is trying to psychoanalyze this and explore this idea. And it does it in a really clumsy way because I don't understand if the movie's really reckoning with how terrible the Stanley character is and how he's acting, while also never really actually exploring the fact that both of these people have gone into this really sad state simply because their relationships ended. I don't want to downplay romance and love. It's all very important, and I'm here for those type of things, causing pain and making you reevaluate your life. But it's really odd to me that this character is so hurt from his relationship ending that he decides to go and murder a lot of different people. I paid money to watch this movie, and these are the things that make me really upset with Kyle, is I had to pay money to watch this movie. And rarely do I see a movie that you rent for $3.99 or you can purchase for $4.99. And what's even more rare is that I don't purchase it for $4.99. I did not buy this movie, thankfully. It's bad. It's just not good. Robert Forster plays the dad of the main character, and you see him 2 or 3 times, and that's really it. He's just the dad. I give them credit for trying. They had a vision. It just didn't come across.
I respect that you gave that a good, thoughtful analysis.
It's very, very, very bad.
Without being too punny here, what's the significance of Calamity with a K?
I have no idea. I would actually rate this a 0.
Damn. We will bounce back because we're going to talk about kind of the noteworthy things from that last review in 2010 to present. And first and foremost, a movie that got Nat Faxon an Oscar win. If you don't know who Nat Faxon is, he plays one of the drunk guys in Beer Fest, which is always one of my favorite fun facts when people are like, this amazing actor didn't get an Oscar. And I'm like, but Nat Faxon has an Oscar for writing the screenplay for The Descendants in 2011. Thoughts?
I really hope you guys can convince me as to why this movie's good.
Did you rewatch it for this?
I think I've seen it 3 times. I did. I rewatched it for the specific reason of I don't like this movie. And I have a suspicion as to why, and I don't want to say it out loud. I just don't really like this movie. And I feel like for a lot of reasons, this is the type of movie that I would love. And I don't connect with it at all.
I'm trying to give you a thoughtful answer. I'd never seen it before. Have I had time to like critically think about why I liked it? I haven't. Like, I'm not really there for Shailene Woodley. I like George Clooney as an actor, but I don't know if I've really like vetted why I like it.
Is it because Laird Hamilton's in it?
Who?
The George Clooney of it all is my problem. I'm not a fan of George Clooney.
Really?
Yeah. And I've been slowly developing this take very quietly over time. And so when I watch this movie, it's very dependent on George Clooney and what he does. And I just am like, I'm not really interested in a ton of what you got going on here.
See, I buy George Clooney as a shitty dad.
Yeah.
So like it works for me. I don't know, to your point, if I truly understand the overlay of the stories with this concept of descendants being passed through the family, blah, 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 versus the stories being told right in front of you. I can't really reconcile how those two metaphors line up properly in a way to tell a story, but I think I like the two threads individually. I just don't necessarily know if they mesh together in the way that the director or the screenwriters wanted to, but they did win an Oscar, so there must be something there. I don't know.
I just can't connect to it in the way that I feel like I should be, which probably isn't the smartest of analysis, but like, I like these type of movies. Meditations on ideas, on grief, on feelings, on how people interact with each other, how they manage these things. I'm all in for stuff like that. And I like Shailene Woodley. I like Shailene Woodley as an actor. I like her very much in this. Big Judy Greer guy. I'm glad she showed up. That was awesome. For whatever reason, I can't get there with this movie.
What do we think of Robert Forster in his role as the grandpa who is very mean the whole time? He is an asshole.
I love it.
He's such a curmudgeon.
Give me more of that.
Very Harrison Ford-like in this one.
It fits really well.
He's really cooking in this movie.
Should have got my daughter her own boat. Should have got her a boat. I get it. Wouldn't affect the outcome, but I get it. I understand.
Clooney peaked in Dusk Till Dawn.
I think Harrison Ford wasn't free, so they were like, let's get somebody who can be an old curmudgeon. We'll just get Forster to come in and do the job.
That works.
Would the movie have gotten better if Harrison Ford was in it, Case?
No.
What's your tone?
Breaking Bad, El Camino, Better Call Saul, he plays character Ed. Just like fascinating when he talks about this, because he played in one episode of Breaking Bad, but he talks about how one episode could like change how people view you. Like people come up to him in the streets to talk about his one episode role in the show. He came back for the movie all those years later.
I think part of it's probably because the one episode he's in is the second to last episode of the show.
Oh, yeah.
It's like climaxing with his character being like a main involved character just for that episode.
That makes sense.
He plays it really well. He disguises himself with a legitimate business where he's like a vacuum cleaner, repairman, and like salesman. and he like runs his own shop. And so it's this like rundown kind of hardware store where he does all the work himself. But for those in the know, if you pay him 125 grand and you say the magic catchphrase, he calls himself a disappearer, where he'll get you like a new identity and put you somewhere where no one can find you. And that becomes very important to Bryan Cranston's character. But he plays it in a way where it's like he's by the book, he's got a set of rules, he's got a set of principles that he follows, and it feels a lot like Harvey Keitel as like the wolf in Pulp Fiction. Instead of like flashy in a sports car, he was just like someone's dad who ran a hardware store, where you're like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing and he's great at it, but he can walk away from this any moment and like go on and live his life. And I thought he was really good at it. I forgot that was the role that he had. But yeah, he came back for the movie as well.
Yeah, he's pretty incredible here. Even in the scenes later on, when Walter pays him more money to hang out at the cabin in New Hampshire, I would argue you needed an actor like this in this moment. Like, he goes toe-to-toe with Cranston in those scenes. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, you needed somebody like him, like somebody of his stature to play that role.
Cranston's like going stir crazy, and he's like, can you just stay a little longer and talk to me? And he's like, well, you know the deal. He's like, I'll give you 10 grand. It's like, for 2 hours? He's like, yes, please. He's like, all right, fair enough.
Well, things start falling in 2013. Olympus falls. It fell in 2013 alongside Angela Bassett, and then London fell in 2016. So this is one of the few times he's got a role where he returns in a sequel.
I'm about to say a lot of things that's going to make some listener really mad.
Oh, no.
Some listener that really loves movies is just going to be like, this guy is a complete jackass. He just shit on The Descendants, but he's going to tell me that Olympus Has Fallen is awesome? Because yes, I am. That movie is awesome. I enjoy that movie. I enjoy London Has Fallen. I enjoy all those Fallens. I think they're fun. For the contradiction, I don't remember Robert Forster in these movies at all, and I didn't have time to rewatch them. If you're taking these movies like any kind of serious, then you've shown up with the wrong idea.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing here. Give me Gerard Butler's like solving some weird problem in a way that doesn't make any sense. I'm here for it.
Let Gerard Butler just do cheesy action flicks.
Timothy's Pantera, great. Plane, great. Greenland, great. I'm here for all of them. And they're all dumb. Except Greenland. Greenland's actually pretty good. Olympus Has Fallen is dumb.
To your point about Robert Forster, I'm on the IMDb profiles for both movies. He's not even listed in the top 18 roles on the casting list. Whatever role he's playing is very small, but he makes an appearance in both.
Probably like some Secret Service or FBI guy.
General Clegg. Acts of Vengeance, 2017, plays Chuck.
Aubrey, anybody that got mad at you for what you just discussed, I'm going to make them happy. If you're a fan of Robert Forster, don't watch this movie because he has a 15-second scene where he yells at Antonio Banderas, whose wife and daughter, who happens to be Robert Forster's daughter and granddaughter, got murdered. Antonio Banderas goes scorched earth. He has one scene. It's maybe 15 seconds long, and you don't see him again. And trust me, I was waiting. I just kept fast-forwarding, trying to find a Robert Forster scene, and it didn't happen. So get your Robert Forster fix and keep it moving. Incredible waste of time.
Whereas if you watch his role in Damsel from 2018, where he plays the old preacher, he's in the first scene, and that's it. So you could watch the first 5 minutes. He plays an old preacher who's sitting, next to the side of the road in probably early 1900s, talking to this guy who just moved out west and is, got aspirations. And he just plays a guy who's beat up, who's just like over it. And at the end of the scene, given he spent so much of his career getting like nude, he basically strips down to his underwear, takes off into the desert on his own because he's like, I couldn't convert these people to Christianity. I'm done with this. And just goes off the deep end and disappears in his underwear. A very bizarre first 5 minutes of the film with Robert Pattinson. And
I want to see that movie. Is the movie good?
The movie's decent. I'm not going to say great, but it's decent because of the acting. Maya Wasikowska, she's excellent. Robert Pattinson's just weird like he normally is. And you get, Forster in the first scene being kind of an insane person. But it was like, given where he was in his health situation at the time, it felt very parallel to kind of like where he was in life too. kind of at the end of my rope. I'm dealing with some pretty serious health issues at this moment in time, and I'm ready to just kind of call it quits. It was weird to watch it from that perspective.
That's the exact point I was going to make about the Wolf of Snow Hollow. It's a small town. He's the sheriff, and then his son, I guess the undersheriff, is going to be the sheriff after him. But he's like super old and only kind of comes in sometimes. And his son is trying to like make his own name. And you could just see on his face, he's just like, he wears the like, I'm too old for this shit. Like, but I don't have anything else to do.
Yep.
Also, the movie's pretty solid. It's an interesting little movie.
Yeah, he's got this like run at the end of his career here with Damsel was decent. It sounds like Wolf of Snow Hollow wasn't bad either. And What They Had from 2018 with Michael Shannon and Hilary Swank, didn't hate the movie. He's had some really like good roles where he's understated and subtle. This is one where he got a chance to actually chew up some scenery and really good dramatic acting. And I was like, damn, I wish I would have saw more of that from him the rest of his career. The way he describes it, it's a film where it's like a timeless family human concept of when you're young, people take care of you. When you're older, people are taking care of you. But for the most of your existence, your job is to serve others. You're there to take care of other people and make sure they have what they need, serve your family, serve your friends, right? Like he's like, it's not about your job, it's not about your hobbies. And he's like, that's what this movie explores, this concept of how you and the roles in your family shift and transform over time. And I just found it kind of fascinating because I thought he did a pretty good job in this movie compared to a lot of the other crap that I watched with him.
Yeah.
Alongside Twin Peaks as well. He played Sheriff Truman in 10 episodes in 2017. I mean, he stayed pretty busy up until 2019. He was diagnosed with a brain tumor in June of 2019, and he passed away in October of 2019, which is wild because the day he passed away was the day he saw the premiere of El Camino.
Oh, wow.
So he saw himself in that movie, and he died later that day.
Yeah.
But he stayed busy until his last days on this earth doing what he loved to do.
Brain cancer's fucking crazy, man. Because, like, what do you even do? Is there anything you can do?
No.
No, right? It's just, like, hang out and hope for the best.
He basically had, 4 months after the diagnosis before he passed?
Yeah.
I don't know what he filmed between June, but he probably had at least one of those last projects was already on the schedule during that time. He's like, hey, I got a job to do. I'll live my life to my fullest.
Yeah, I think the last one he filmed was
Wolf on Snow Hollow.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Case, I know that ends kind of things on a somber note, but were you able to drag up a list of top performances for us?
It's from rewindzone.com, and it is titled The Best Movies of Robert Forster Ranked. And it says, discover Robert Forster's greatest performances from his Oscar-nominated role in Jackie Brown to his early breakthrough in Medium Cool. Explore how this versatile actor brought authenticity and depth to every character across his 6-decade career. And I've got the top, actually 11, because one of the projects in here was a documentary.
Well, you mentioned 2 in their description of the list, so I'm going to go with Medium Cool and Jackie Brown are both on that.
I mean, that's kind of hogging the ball, but yeah.
I'm an ISO player, Case. What do you want from me? I don't pass. Like Mike, baby. Like Mike. Mike didn't pass.
Yeah, okay. That's 1 and 2. Number 3. You want to know what number 3 is and number 4 while I'm at it? I can just read it to you if that's how we want to play the game. Yeah. Jackie Brown is number 1. Medium Cool is number 2.
The Descendants?
The Descendants is not on there. Aubrey, you're welcome.
Oh, interesting.
Vindicated.
Although you are going to be upset later on.
Like Mike is on the list? Is that what you're saying?
Like Mike is not on the list.
Vindicated. Calamity.
Calamity is not on the list.
Oh, thank God.
I'm winning, so I don't know what's going to make me upset.
Give me Alligator.
Alligator is number 4.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. Oh, I know what's on there.
Reflections in a Golden Eye.
Reflections in a Golden Eye did not make it.
Fubar list. Fubar.
The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Wolf of Snow Hollow did not make the list.
Lucky number 11.
Lucky number 11 did not make the list.
What in the world is going on?
Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
Mulholland Drive did not make the list.
What? All right. Fucking Me, Myself, and Irene.
No, didn't make the list. We've talked about a lot of these.
Come on.
Olympus Has Fallen.
Nope.
The Black Hole.
Yeah, Black Hole.
Black Hole is number 5. There we go. Back on track.
What's number 3? Is it Kinky Coaches and the Pom-Pom Pussycats?
Think about the most recent discussion we had.
What They Had.
Nope.
Damsel?
On Peaks?
El Camino.
Oh.
Okay.
The one that we didn't talk about as a documentary is called American Grindhouse, and he narrated it.
Oh, okay.
In the article, they pointed out how great he was at narrating. So we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 left.
Did Stalking Moon make the list?
Stalking Moon is number 11.
Okay.
Give me Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam did not make the list. And one of these we did not talk about at all. It's not even on the list, which is hilarious.
Psycho.
Psycho did not make the list. I was surprised by that.
Charlie's Angels Full Throttle? I don't know.
No. So James, Rear Window did make the list at number 8 as another Hitchcock remake.
He was in 2 Hitchcock remakes?
Yeah. You guys will be pleased to know that Delta Force is number 7.
Well deserved.
What?
Vigilante is number 9.
No.
And the movie we did not talk about, I got to make sure I pronounce this correctly, Original Gangstas. Not gangsters, but gangstas.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't feel good about that.
I think it's from 96.
So the top 5 on this, Jackie Brown, Medium Cool, El Camino, Alligator, and The Black Hole.
Robert.
I don't love this list. There wasn't a great curation of ranked movie lists.
Robert Forster fans are only going to come after this episode, not before.
Correct.
All right, thanks, Case.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the Munson Meter. When we do, we rate every actor on a scale of 0 to 100. It can be based on a variety of factors, including longevity, project choice, pop culture impact, their acting range, awards footprint, other talents, personal life, comedic chops, box office success, and anything else that matters to us as Munsons. So we will start this time with Aubrey.
I will keep this brief and very respectful. I think Robert Forster is a good actor. I think he is the type of actor that makes Hollywood go. We always talk about the biggest stars and all the things that they do, but the ones that really power the movies that we love are guys like this, who come in and do a great job just doing their job. Charisma and all those things aside, it doesn't matter. He is a great actor. He's a workman in a way that I find interesting. It's also one of those things that makes a podcast like this interesting and why I love doing it.
Agreed.
Because I get to learn about this person and see more about a career that I never would have paid any attention to. And I realized how many things I had seen him in and never known I had seen him in those things.
Yeah.
I think he's good in the score and the way that I would go about it. I didn't see enough of the things that I would like to see to rank him really high. I think he's a good, serviceable actor, so I will give him a 61.
Let's go to Case.
I think you pretty much nailed it there. My question that I hope to have answered was, why did his career not take a different trajectory after what I felt were some pretty strong performances early in his career? There's a lot of people that would love to work for a day in Hollywood, and this guy pulled it off for 6 decades. We certainly are going to miss him in Hollywood and miss the roles that he's able to play, and hopefully his career continues to be respected and people continue to be a fan of his. And with that, I'm going to give him a 65.
All right, Dan Craig, our guest Munson.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what's being said. He seems like one of the glue guys. You know, he can come in for 7-8 minutes and, you know, just really bring a sense of authenticity and realism to a movie. I feel like he's lacking like a little bit of like charisma or humor or spark or something that could have made him into like, I don't know, if things had maybe broken the right way, he could have been like maybe a Gene Hackman like type.
Yeah.
Definitely not putting him into the level of one of the greats like a Nicholson. He comes across as kind of humorless in a lot of what you see him in. In his best performances is what makes him really good.
Yeah.
Okay? Like Jackie Brown, there's got to be a sense of sadness there to Max Cherry because he's an ultimately kind of a sad guy. What makes him work really well there that somebody like maybe a Hackman or a Nicholson couldn't have done, okay, quite like him. All that being said, like I say, the guy's got an Oscar nomination. He worked for 6 decades and so on. I think that deserves a respectable 70 from me.
I look at his Oscar nom as both like exciting and depressing because I see like this types of roles. If other directors had cast him in better material, we could have seen better versions of Robert Forster. You got to do what you got to do. I'll never knock somebody who's hustling in that space. There's plenty of B movie roles you can take and make a pretty decent living doing that and enjoying it. It just comes down to whether or not you feel like you're destined for that, right? Are you comfortable being in that space? And you could tell just from his interviews, he didn't want to be there. He wanted to be doing more creative stuff. He wanted to have a little bit better project choice, but life dictates what you have to do sometimes. And unfortunately, I just don't think we got to see a lot of his talents on screen as much as he probably wanted to bring to us. But I give him mad respect for having no issue being nude on screen throughout his career. That's not something every actor would do. I mean, early on, you do what you got to do, but American Respect, we didn't talk about, he did the same thing. He's somebody that I don't think cares what other people think of him, which is always an admirable quality. And he's the king of 90-minute films and low-budget flicks.
Yes, he is.
A lot of the movies I watched with him, it was like hour 28, hour 31. And I was like, yo, I can knock these out in my 10-day vacation when I'm on the road. Got to give credit where credit's due there. And I respect the candor about his cliffs and valleys of his career, and recognizing a busy acting pond, you got to get a little lucky. I wish I saw more stuff like what I saw and what they had. Again, it came down to the types of roles and the writing. Unfortunately, some of that good performances on the back end came a little too late, but movies like Vigilante, which I cannot believe it made number 9 to that person's list of best movies, just absolutely shows he's missing that extra gear that makes good actors great. Again, working actor until the day he died. For that, I give him the ultimate respect. But as he stacks up to other actors that we've covered, it's just not going to score well comparatively. And so I'm going to give him the lowest score so far of everyone. I'm going to give him a 56. And I don't love doing that, but that's what he's getting from me. James, round us out.
Boo, Kyle, given the lowest score. It's usually something the one doing, but I'm glad you take the mantle today.
You still have a chance, James.
Yeah, I know.
That's where I thought you were going with that.
I know what my score is, and it's not much higher than yours. Yours is so disrespectful. Mine's slightly higher.
I'm practically spitting on the guy's grave right at this point in time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well just call up his family and curse them out. What he plays best is the world-weary, maybe I used to be hard edge, but I'm kind of beaten down now characters. I think he's very good at that. I like seeing that, and the B movies that I watched were enjoyable. Kind of adds an emotional depth to films that don't deserve that. And I find that fascinating because that's solely what he brought to those films. He also has a gift for existing on screen and bringing depths to roles that don't deserve them. The characters that are written don't have the depth that he adds to them, in El Camino and Breaking Bad. It's a one episode, and then the movie was essentially a second episode, and his character has a level of depth to it that I don't think was necessarily written there, and he brought it to that. And so that's always going to give credit for someone doing that. I think it was Steve Martin who said there's no small roles, there's only small actors. And so I always appreciate when someone nails this role that's ultimately maybe not the lead. Nominated for an Oscar, that boosts him up a lot. Being Italian from New York, an extra bump for me there. And so I'm going to give him a 61 as well.
With that gives Robert Forster a 62.6, which puts him in 104th place, right behind Aidan Gillen and Zooey Deschanel, and just ahead of Lorraine Toussaint and Kristen Shaw.
Interesting.
Better than second to last, which is what
That's right.
he was predicted to.
That would be David Arquette, second to last. But still at the bottom, Chris O'Dowd. So
He's below David Arquette.
dead last.
What'd you guys do to this guy's career?
Dan Craig was here for it. Blame Dan Craig.
He was.
That is true.
Dan Craig gave him a 60 at least. There's a 45 and a 43 in there for Chris O'Dowd. So that's what torpedoed his score.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's it.
So next podcast is going to hit October 9th. We've got Ed Chaya coming back. He was our last-minute replacement for Richard Gere because our Australian friend, Jeff Reed, wasn't able to join, and so I called in Ed last second to come talk about Richard Gere. So he's going to be returning to the pod on the 9th. The wheel selected one of these 5 actors, and he chose to come. So we had a little bit more choice this time than the last time. So we've got Antonio Banderas, James Vanderbeek, Nia Long, Michael Gambon, or Chris Evans. What do we love or hate on that list?
Hoping for Antonio Banderas, so my Acts of Vengeance wasn't watched in vain. This is one movie I don't have to watch for him now, because I watched it for this episode.
Banderas would be a lot of fun.
I give much props to the wheel for spitting out 5 names that I know this time. and not one random stunt coordinator from the 70s. So I appreciate that. This can't be James Vanderbeek. I can't do it.
Michael Gambone was a name that I did not recognize, and then I looked him up and was like, "Oh, I know who that person." Yeah, exactly.
Dumbledore.
It's like Harry Potter is the only thing I got.
Yeah, British actor.
He's the better Dumbledore.
He was a Sir. Irish English. Another Irish actor.
Nia Long would be fun.
Yeah, Nia Longsies. Let's go. Girls Trip.
Yeah. Some people would get put onto some movies.
That's true.
She's got some good stuff that a lot of people probably haven't seen.
Oh,
Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was in Friday. Yeah.
wasn't she the one who was married to the Celtics head coach and he got fired? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He's at Houston now, right?
Ime Udoka.
Yeah. And he got fired after they won the title, and everyone's like, how is that fucking possible? And from an HR perspective, I was like, well, that only happens for a couple reasons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, turns out it was one of them.
Oh, man, he cheated on Nia Long? That's just...
Yep.
That's disrespectful.
He banged his boss's wife. His brother.
Lost a lot of fans that day.
Good Lord.
Would Chris Evans solve Case's ultimate Chris battle?
That's what I was going to ask. Is Case excited for a potential another Chris?
This closes the loop, right?
It'll be Chris Pine no matter what.
Oh, those are big words.
It's locked in.
We'll just shut down Cap.
Dan Craig, if you were going to make a return trip, who would you pick?
That's tough. I'm interested in all your thoughts on Chris Evans' non-Marvel movies.
Scott Pilgrim, baby.
Snowpiercer's
great.
Knives Out. You know what I'm talking about.
I love this energy.
I think that'd be super interesting to hear about that.
Not another teen movie. He's phenomenal in that.
I watched The Materialists the other day. He's good in that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Possibly premature on the Chris Evans pod?
Yeah, you might be right.
Maybe, yeah. I think we need some more time.
I feel like his career is just now getting real interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spent the last 15 years making $1 bajillion. Now he's like, now I can do actual.
And being the face of America. Man, it really got out of control on his watch. He lose some Munson Meter points on that.
All right, so no Vanderbeek. That's what I'm hearing from you, Dan Craig. No Varsity Blues.
Sorry, Beak. Can't help you.
Knowing Ed didn't really have a choice last time, but based on just your access to Ed, James, I know you and I have gone to a lot of movies with Ed. Who do you think he would pick from this list?
I think it could be Chris Evans. I want to go Antonio Banderas, though.
Oh, that would be good.
I agree.
I got some things I need to cross off on my list.
Well, Ed doesn't decide. Dan Craig doesn't decide. I don't decide. Despite whatever Aubrey tells his students, the wheel decides. And we'll see what happens. Dan Craig, we reached the mountaintop, my friend. You know how we do this. Chance to plug anything you're working on or wise words for our audience. The floor is yours, my friend.
Just to the fellas out there who are young fathers, it goes by fast because we just dropped my 18-year-old off at school this past weekend.
Oh,
Jesus.
Savor the time now, fellas, and everyone else out there.
it's going to make me cry.
It's awesome.
I know those are wise words, but with a baby that doesn't sleep that well, I can't wait.
When did we go and get old?
Right?
You raised a good boy, Dan. You raised a good boy.
Oh, thank you.
We loved having you back, Dan. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Thanks, fellas.
As always, you can catch us on Instagram and Threads, Munsons at the Movies. You can email us, munsonsatthemovies@gmail.com. Any final thoughts from Robert Forster?
You're all talk. You make your living spinning words into meanings that are vague and hazy and unclear. And from this moment on, I do not ever want to hear your mealy mouth voice again. Am I understood?
Munson's Out.
All right, let's go. Thank you for the education, gentlemen. We've just received a PhD in stupidity. Doctor, shall we?
So good. It's more than just a movie, it's a big night out. Gotta go to the show where the good times are. It's more fun at MJR. It's more fun at MJR. Oh my God.
Welcome to MJR, your hometown showplace for great movies and fresh popcorn. Thank you for choosing us for your escape into the world of movies. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
It's more than